At the T-minus 3-minute mark, tape recorders on board the spacecraft were turned on. These recorders record both voice and data. We have ignition sequence start. The engine's now building up to 7.7 million pounds of thrust. We have a launch commit and we have a liftoff. Moving back. The Saturn V lifting off of power.
Welcome back. This is 105.9 The Radiator, The Rocket Shop. I'm your host, Tom Proctor. And with me now is Sabrina Comellas.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going great. How are you doing?
I'm really well. I'm so happy you're finally on the show.
I know, me too.
I've seen you play a bunch, and obviously I know you quite well through mutual friends.
Yeah.
So really excited to have you on, especially because I also last saw you a couple of weekends ago playing at
somewhere out there.
Yeah.
It was an amazing festival put on for a great cause out in Worcester, Vermont. I hope to do it again next year as well. Fun time, camping, hang out with friends, playing some good music.
It was a good day, and you killed it.
Thank you very much.
So we always like starting with the song. So would you like to introduce it and take it away?
Yes, this is the first song that I ever wrote. It's called Relapse, and it is on my album. You drive me crazy and I hate that. You make me walk out the door. But the worst part that will forever be true is I will always come back for more. And I hate that I love you. It's a reoccurring mistake. But I see and I watch and I let it unfold and I cause my own heart to break. You make me jealous of people, oh, that I would never want to be. But whenever I see you looking at her, I can't help but think, why not me? And I hate that I want you, oh, every minute of the day. I try to forget how your lips feel on mine, but that's harder to do than to say. You come around every winter. You can't weather the cold on your own, but by spring you're all right, and by summer you're gone. You leave me to fall all alone. And I know what you're doing, oh, but I let it happen anyway. Oh, one season's better than nothing at all, but I will never stop wishing that you'll stay. I'm addicted to that feeling that I get when you're by my side. It's a shame and I know that I can't let you go, but I guess I've never really tried. So the next time that you need me, oh, I know just what I'll do. I'll try to be strong, but that won't last for long, since I'm hopelessly in love with you.
Relapse there by Sabrina Comellas. That was incredible.
Thank you.
Wow.
I'm gonna
Actually
call-
kind of like tearing up over here.
I'm
that
sure
was
my mom's at home crying right now. Hi, Mom.
Ooh. That was just incredibly powerful. A very raw song, a song that demands attention. Could you talk to me a little bit about that song and the creation of it? I mean, if you
Oh
if
yeah, no.
you don't mind.
I wrote this. It was one of the first songs that I wrote, and it's pretty easy chords on guitar, so it's developed a little bit since I first wrote it. But I was a young person, who I still am, but a younger girl who was experiencing a lot of emotions with different connections to different people, and trying to find ways and similes and metaphors and ways of expressing myself in a way that other people could understand. Because it's kind of comforting knowing that other people can relate to you, but it's also like, as an artist, it's nice to know that I can write something that makes people have a feeling or like a thought or a relation and an emotion to. And that was a goal with this song for sure.
I'd definitely say you nailed it. Well, let's go back to the start though. Tell me a little bit about your history. How do you find yourself in Burlington, and when did you start playing music yourself?
So I've been singing since I could speak, definitely. Not necessarily in tune from the beginning, but gave it my best shot. I grew up singing opera all throughout middle school and high school, and then that turned into jazz and orchestra, and singing with orchestra and whatnot. And I moved on to college where I did a theater degree, which helped kind of influence my performance and my personality on stage. And I got a job right out of college in Manhattan with this like company that just wasn't really supporting ideals that I really liked to bring into the world. It was a fast fashion company, and they didn't really have the same thought process as me. And I wanted to stop living the life that I was living. And I looked around me at my friends, and I saw people were having a joyous time here in Burlington. So I came to visit on a road trip to see what it was all about. And I was like, wow, there's a lot of local live music here, and people care about this community, and this place is a very special place to be. I want to be here. I need to be here. And I had also had a conversation the same year with my grandmother, which helped make this move a musical move instead of just a move to a different state with the same job, She looked at me one day and we were talking. I was like, Grandma, I feel like I'm not really getting anywhere with my music. I feel like I haven't had any big breakthroughs, and I'm not really booking any shows or really doing anything that I feel like is good to that. And she said, well, have you tried yet? Like, have you gone out and like met people and like played open mics? And I was like, well, I guess I really haven't done as much as I could. So I made last year about that, and it's come to a pretty good end.
Well, it's hopefully not end yet.
Well, this year is my birthday is this Friday, which is my next show, and it's kind of like the rounding off of my first year really putting effort into my music and recording.
When I saw you the other day, you mentioned that for your birthday present to yourself this year, you were investing in yourself. So tell me a little bit about that. What specifically did you invest in? And
yeah, so I kind of started that philosophy last year for my birthday, and so it's kind of like a treat yourself kind of a vibe. Finding what I like, recognize what's going on in my life and things that might be causing me frustration or things that are in my way of getting to what my goals are. And I just identify what I can do to either, get a different instrument, or I can find time to work with the new band that I found, or I invested in myself literally by building a website last year on my birthday, which has been a huge help because it gives me a place to direct people to when they want to hear my music. Last year I also bought my D'Angelico, obviously on some monthly payments there, but it was definitely worth the investment. They really do mean that. When you have to invest in yourself, you really, really do. You got to spend a little bit of money and put a lot of your time into yourself, and you'll really get where you want to go.
You were referencing your guitar then, and if you've not seen Sabrina play live, and I definitely encourage anyone to do so, she plays with this beautiful green guitar.
Yeah.
It's so striking, and a lot of what you wear, it's not just kind of the voice and the lyrics you've got. A lot of your aesthetic is incredibly striking. You're someone that stands out in a really good way.
Yeah.
You said you've kind of got a fashion background. Did this kind of occur naturally, or is this something you've really focused on? It's been like a real kind of emphasis on this for you.
I think it's definitely, it's a cultural thing. There's a song by John Bellion, who is a Long Island artist who's very not like the music that I do, but I enjoy him as an inspiration. He has this whole song about fashion and how everybody in the world is connected to it. You might not necessarily realize, but you have your own style, and you have your own aesthetic. And I was privileged enough to go to a great school for theater, and I learned about performance and like really elevating yourself to another level. And I decided, taking myself into the music career, that I was going to make myself the performance, and I'm the performer. I'm an artist. Like, I want to emphasize all these things. So I wear red pants, and I buy these cool things with feathers on them, and I decorate top hats, and I like wear whatever I'm in the mood for,
You kind of even go further than that. I mean, the van that you drive now is bright orange. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
I love it.
I don't like to go anywhere discreetly. I have 2 cars. One of them is a Jurassic Park Jeep, which I'm sure some people have seen around Burlington. And I just bought a 2002 Astro van, which is the color of a pumpkin. So my mom told me she's going to buy me some flowers for that. So we'll see how that works out.
I used to have a dirt bike of the same color. I loved it.
Yeah, nobody can, it's like, where's Tom? Oh, Billy's 300 miles away.
Right. And kind of continuing that aesthetic thread. One, every picture I've ever seen you in is fantastic. You're an incredibly photogenic person, and I think you showcase this best in the cover of the new album that you've come out with, and we'll touch on that in just a moment. But who is it that's taking these fantastic photos, and how did you put that particular cover together?
Yeah, I have a lot of people that I work with photography-wise for different events, and I really try to support local people and get my friends involved in all of my artwork whenever I can and compensate them appropriately. And for the album cover, I work with 2 very special ladies in my life. Jacqueline Potter, she is a photographer out of Nectar and Root, which is a studio in Winooski. I highly recommend you go there, even just to look at the space. It's beautiful. And she recognized, like, the style that I was going for, and she's very open to working with different aesthetics and like bringing her own spin on things. And I also asked Mary Beth D'Aquila, who is the marketing director of Radio Bean and Lamp Shop, to help me with the graphic design. So Jackie and I had spent this whole wonderful day together. We got Thai food, took this beautiful picture outside in Winooski, and then I took it to Mary Beth, and we spent the afternoon at her house, just like on the coffee table. We got like some flower petals, and we did just like an afternoon of arts and crafts, and it ended up being exactly what I needed to be, which is just a collage of friends.
It's while it's got this quality where now you told me that, I can see how this can be just on like a table with just a picture, but I
was surprised there was no like rings from all of our water glasses and our wine glasses on the table after that.
But it's so incredibly professional. It looks very professionally done. I'm just having a quick flick on your Facebook here.
Mm-hmm.
You've also got a great painting. I hope it goes with the album.
Oh, yeah. I have a friend. Her name is Carly Miller, another person that I know from college, who I commissioned to make that graphic design for me from a photograph that Jacqueline made earlier in the year. And they just did an incredible job. Those are on the T-shirts that I actually bring to my gigs, too, which are really awesome. I got those made at Amalgamated on Pine Street. They did an amazing job. Like, super great. Cultureworks are awesome.
Well, let's talk about the album, because it's just come out. I've given it a little listen to it. Tell me a little bit about it. How was the process creating it? How does it feel coming out with your first album?
It feels kind of bittersweet, because it's, you learn a lot from the experience, and then you look back on it, and you have things that you wish you did differently, or you have things that, you recognize now could have been approached in a different way. And you also look at it and say, wow, I spent a whole year on this project, and I made it come to fruition beginning to end. Like, I paid for the studio time, and I worked my butt off until 3:30 on Saturday nights, like working as a bartender. And I got through, and I had these amazing moments with friends and musicians around town that just like made this more than just a recording that I was putting out into the world. It was like a learning process. So, albeit there are things that I would change about it, I would not change a thing about how it came about being, because I've grown so much from it in the past year.
I've heard that a lot about first albums, and a lot of people talk about how that first album is really the opportunity to kind of go do those things wrong, and then it's that second album where you fix that, and then apparently the second album you then learn even more, and then you create a third album to go even further than that.
Yeah.
So for you, have you already got kind of your eye on the next thing coming up?
I am hoping to release a single this fall or like early winter. I have a new song that I just finished writing. I'm not going to play it today, but if you come to Arthright, you'll be able to hear it.
Ooh.
It's more of an upbeat kind of, it's just a different genre, I would say. My album right now is Americana folk, and what I'm leaning towards more is trying to progress towards Americana rock pop vibe.
Well, on that note, although we're not going to listen to that song, I'd love to hear another one.
Yeah, absolutely. This next song is called Colors. It's more of a recent song on my not on my album, but hopefully going to be on the next one whenever that comes about. Oh wait, I lied. This isn't Colors, even though it starts with the word colors. Oh, that's so confusing. This is called Didn't Break, Doesn't Count. Even the greatest colors fade to gray whenever you go away, and I know that will never change. And the closer that I get to you, the farther that I feel removed from everything I thought I knew. Didn't break, it doesn't count. I lost my love, I can live without it, or at least I'll try. But there are things that I wish I knew before I ever lost you, but I ran out of time. I'll see, and I need to wait until the timing's right. But my patience is running thin, and I've got no clue where you've been. I dream, but I don't get no sleep at night. And I miss those games of truth or dare, my fingers running through your hair, living life without a care. So I close my eyes when things get hard, and though we may be worlds apart, it feels like you're there. figure it out. I need your love, I can't live without it. You think I'll leave you? Well, I won't. You always think I'm mad at you. Oh, but baby, that's not true. You think I blame you? Well, I don't. Oh, oh, darling, you were right. Oh, oh, and I was wrong, wrong, so wrong. I want everything that we used to have. I guess you'll just have to learn how to take the good with the bad.
Sabrina Comellas there. Listening to you play and really paying attention to lyrics, they come across as quite simple, but they're really clever. There's some really great turns of phrase there, like I dream, but I can't sleep at night.
Yeah.
Fantastic way to describe kind of being in your own head,
Yeah.
but kind of getting consumed by your own thoughts and not obviously not being able to sleep.
Yeah.
With those kind of turns of phrase, and I noticed in Relapse in the first song, you had a couple of them as well. Do you kind of write them down and figure out where to stick them in a song? When
I would say that's almost exactly it. Relapse, like going back to that, there are 2 lines in that song that I like had in mind, or like emotions that I found a line for, and then I just figured out what I wanted the rest of the song, like to like the vibe for the rest of the song, and then added other emotions that are appropriate with different lyrics. There are, you know, similarly to About Time I just played, like when they come up with an idea, they'll just jot it down, or, you know, they'll come up with things that they had from years ago that they've been just having in their back pocket, and I'm like, oh, I forgot about this entirely. These 3 words that I now want to make into an entire 6.5-minute song.
So you're literally taking those turns of phrase and you crafting the song around it.
Yeah, well, mostly I think of myself more so as like a melody and lyricist person. Guitar and piano and all my instruments are definitely second to my voice, because I've been working on my voice since I was like 5 years old. So it's, you know, when you have more of a tendency towards something, it's going to be what you gravitate towards. I definitely have more of an ease writing music with my voice, and then finding the chords that fit with it, and then exploring from there. Versus, you know, there's a handful of songs that I have where I started on guitar first because I wanted to challenge myself, but for the most part, I try to like have a routine of just writing things down when I think of them, and then expanding on them as soon as I can.
When did you start writing lyrics?
Probably like right when I graduated high school, or like butt end of high school, like right at the end, because I wasn't really doing music besides choir and like school musicals and stuff. I didn't really think of this as like a lifestyle or a possibility or anything until I got to college. So I mostly started after high school with writing my own things.
And is there any of those songs that you kind of started out with after high school that, you know, you brought back for this album, or are all the songs you're kind of creating now, they fresh and new and they've been made recently?
I would say it's half and half, you know, like Don't Worry, I'll Fix It, Relapse, and Runaway Bullet were all pretty like original songs from the beginning. And then What the World Looks Like, which I have a music video out on YouTube for as well, which is really great. Got nominated for the Adirondack Film Festival this year, which is super exciting.
Wow.
That song rather is newer, and it was one of those like guitar challenging songs for me. I really pushed the limits, and even sometimes at live shows now, I'm like not always totally 100% ready to play it, but I'll like make myself do it, because, you know, you can do it in the moment. You really can. You got to practice and then just push it. You can do it.
Let's talk a little bit about how your sounds changed in this year for you. So you've just recently acquired a band. They're not here tonight. Which, no offense to your band, kind of glad about, because I love having this acoustic
it was a
settings.
conscious effort, definitely. Like, and the guys that I play with are very like, they make themselves available and are definitely into stuff like this, but I wanted to do more of an acoustic thing and tease my show on Friday with a full band. So.
Oh, I completely get that. So why did you decide to start working with a band, and how has your sound changed with the inclusion of other members?
So it's kind of a hard question because I never really thought of what adding people to a group entailed, because you think, oh, I'm going to make a band, but now it started to kind of just go under my name, which makes me feel a little bit like a narcissist. But then I realize, I'm the one that's booking stuff, and I'm the one that's writing the music, and but simply put, I would not be able to do the shows that I'm doing now without the people that I have behind me. Like, absolutely not. I can't write a drum part. I can't write a bass line. I can hit the keys. I can play guitar, but it's changes my entire life when I have another guitarist on stage with me. I previously played with Alex Bennett, who was a UVM graduate, a phenomenal jazz guitarist. Up until May, he played with me for my album release, and that was the last show that he was here for because he graduated. But I have these, Greg Rothwell is my bassist. Will Pearl, a very fitting name, is on my drums. And I just started playing with Marshall Dominguez, who is a really fantastic artist. He's playing this weekend at Orlando. So he's a great guitarist. It's you could talk to a musician until they're blue in the face about why they like playing in a band. But for me, it's just like, it's easier. They are such talented musicians, and I can bring them a piece and be like, hey, I'm struggling with this music and I want it to sound better. Help. And I tried my hardest not to make it like anything egotistical. I really try to make sure they know and really see how valued they are to me at every point that I can.
I'm sure they do. And so you've had a very busy summer, booking shows all over the place.
Home yet. My dad is really mad about that.
So tell me a little bit how things have accelerated for you in this year of investment.
Yeah, it's kind of been, it's not that I'm moving super, super fast, but I learn pretty quickly. So like I see these opportunities and I really wanted to snag them. So I'll feel like I'll overdo it sometimes. I'll book 2 shows like really in succession of one another, and then I feel like I can't practice. But it's all about time management is what I've learned. I have finally succumbed to Google Calendars as per my friend's request. Iva May, she is another phenomenal local musician who has helped me a lot in the past year. Just growing with other people around me and like really, really paying attention to what everybody else is doing has, helped a lot with not getting overwhelmed, because I am doing a lot right now. I have 2 jobs right now, and which is a new thing. I haven't been working 2 jobs this whole time, but I book gigs for myself. I go on like different far away gigs. It takes time to book rehearsals with people when you're playing with more than one person. I have hopefully 4 or 5 people joining me on Friday, so it's like hard to organize schedules with a bunch of people who are also doing the same thing as me. Like everybody has 2 jobs nowadays, I feel like. So it's a hard time.
Truth. Well, we've got time for about one more song.
Yeah.
But as you've been mentioning, you've got social media.
Yeah.
You've got your website. You've got you're up on Spotify.
I am on Spotify. I'm on every streaming thing. I just wanted to make it very accessible.
So yeah, plug away and all the gigs that are coming up.
Yeah. So this Friday I am playing the final, the season finale of Truck Stop at Arts Riot. It's the last one of the year. So if you have not gotten there, get your booties down there, or you're gonna miss it and you're gonna feel bad until next May or June when it starts again. That starts at 5 o'clock with food, and then 8:30 the music starts. It's going to be a great time. It's a free show, and you can bring your dog if you want to. What else is going on? No, September 20th, I'm playing at the Radio Bean. And I have my birthday is Friday too, so if you want to come to the show and bring me a present, that works out. My album, as Tom has already said, is on Spotify and all those wonderful streaming platforms. And you can just search Sabrina Comellas as my name, or Little B Marie on Instagram. And I try to keep people updated, because if you're interested in my music, I want you to know what's going on.
I will also say, if you do go see Sabrina live, and you should come to the Truck Stop gig on Friday, and you like having hard copies of your music, the vinyl you had pressed for this album is exquisite.
Yeah, I got it done at Burlington Record Plant, and they did an absolutely beautiful job. Like they care about their work there. They invited me in several times to see what they were doing, and like made sure the process was to my liking, and they came up with a really, really beautiful project.
Did they let you print one yourself?
No, I didn't want to. They did ask, and I was like, nope, I don't want to ruin anything. This is too expensive for me to touch. So. It was a wonderful time. I got translucent red records and I got some black vinyls as well.
They are gorgeous.
It's really pretty to look at.
Just aesthetically.
Don't leave them in the window though. Learn that one the hard way.
Oh, do they melt?
Well, all vinyls, they're like very, very heat sensitive. DJ Taka, who's a really great artist in residence at Lamp Shop, we were chatting about leaving vinyls in different places, and he's like, never put them in the sunlight. They're like babies. They can't look at the sun. So now I know.
The more you know.
Yeah.
Well, Sabrina, thank you so much for coming in. I really do appreciate it. What
Absolutely.
song have you got to play us out with?
This song is called Colors. Surprise. Help me see what I clearly don't know. All I need is a point, which way is home? I am lost, I'm scared, and I'm alone. I just need to know which way to go. Turn the radio on again, listening for something to remind you of way back when. You have sworn that the good old days are gone, but you still turn the radio on. Sour patches of green, little things we didn't mean, and all the lies that came in between. That's what happened to you and me. I try and pretend every day, lie to myself, saying, oh, you'll be okay. I realize that although I've stayed the same, you went off and changed. The best of memories fade to blue, and we don't dance like we used to. Our worst fears became our truth. That's what happened to me and you. And I can't help feeling like I'm missing something too. And I've never felt a heartbreak quite the same as losing you. So I'll repeat it time and time again until the words start feeling somewhat like a bruise. Although it might seem wrong, I'll always know it was the right thing to do. I showed you reason, but you saw red. I tried to prove that it was all in your head. Oh, but you listened to yourself instead. And that's where we came to an end.
Sabrina Comellas, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me, Tom.
Anytime. Don't join us next week because I think we're...
No, we might have Sabayuma.
Okay, well, confusing messages there from producer Bob.
What? Oh my God.
We might be having guests on next week, but I am not sure who they are yet. So tune in next week in the anticipation that we might be on.
Podcast surprise.
Podcast surprise. Thank you so much for listening tonight. This has been The Rocket Shop. I've been your host, Tom Proctor, and good night.